My name is Rinat. I'm 35 years old. I'm in Dubai since 2009. When I came to Dubai, I had nothing similar to sport, nothing common. All I did is corporate insurance. I worked by that time 11 years in corporate insurance, and I just moved from Moscow to Dubai to set up the company and run it. Had normal life. I was smoking 16 or 17 years, drinking, had parties, normal life on normal person. And in 2012, friends offered to me, why don't you try to triathlon in Abu Dhabi? And I said, okay, I'll think, but I didn't take that offer seriously, because I remember when I was a child and saw triathletes on the TV set, I realized that these are the crazy people, and you have to born to be a triathlete. And I decided clearly, I remember by that time, decided that in this life I will not do this. So I was a moderate swimmer by that time. I didn't do any cycling since I was 11 years old. And I hated running. I didn't understand why people run. And I just gave a chance to myself, and I said, let's try at least once, let's try to survive. And I chose and picked up the smallest distance. It was a sprint distance, 750 meters swim, 50 meters on the bike, 50 kilometers on the bike, and 5 kilometers on run. And it was really, really big challenge for me that time. And my goal was just to finish that. And I finished. I was very happy, smiling at the finish line. But I wasn't hooked at that time. And it took me 1 year to try it another time. Between these two triathlons, I continued my smoking, drinking, partying. Another Abu Dhabi race came. I picked a longer race that time, and I was preparing for that more seriously. I was cycling in the nights, running more distances, and I finished. And this is when I decided to seriously go into triathlon. And I registered then for longer races, for half Ironman race. These two lessons which I learned is give yourself a chance to try something new. There is a high probability that you will like it. If you will not like it, just leave it. But just try. And another one is to develop success. Once you see something in your life what you can benefit from, just go and continue with that. Then my family started to do triathlon, and at the half Ironman race I didn't do well because I had a very strong knee pain, and I just challenged myself to finish. I said that I have to finish this race. In 1 month there was another race, half Ironman race, where I wanted to do better in Luxembourg, but it didn't go well again because I had a stomach problem. My stomach just stopped functioning during the run. I remember I had everything, vomiting, diarrhea, and I came to the doctor at the finish line after the finish, and I said, and I crashed from the bike also that time. And doctor started to, he thought that I came because of the crash, because of the things on my skin, but I said, no, I have another problem. I'm vomiting and diarrhea. He said, this is a pill against vomiting, this is a pill against diarrhea. What I can do. And so stomach has started to act again as a engine. But that time I realized I was already on the way to do the full Ironman, and that time I realized that I need a coach. I can do it by myself, but you see there are some problems, and what I do, I don't know what I do. Yeah, and I need a professional who will guide me. Here two lessons which I learned is first of all, bravely go through the tests of the life. Yeah, the life and the fate will test you when you are on just to test how far you can go. And the second lesson, if you dream big, be surrounded by bright minds. And I found it, thanks to my friend, I found the bright mind in triathlon. This is Coach Neil Flanagan, who I remember that time I said, Neil, I need you, and I believe that you can bring me to Ironman, and this was very right choice. Now I understand. We talked about nutrition, so Neil guided me how to eat properly with a low carbs, high fat diet. Then he designed the program for me. I started to train something between 10 and 15 hours a week. And after 1 year, I came to, so there were intermediary races, like half Ironman races, which were very successful. So I realized that I'm on the right path, so that everything is going well. And then we went to Ironman. Before Ironman, there was a swim across Gibraltar. So this was probably mad thing to do two things together within 1 year. So I had the Gibraltar Strait, which needed a separate training program. I made it in June last year, and we were the first Russians who came across Gibraltar Strait. And then it was Ironman. At the Ironman, I planned to finish within 12 hours, but I did. My result was 10 and a half hours, and this is thanks to my coach. And lessons which I learned there is be prepared for worst and hope for the best. Challenge your fears, because after one of the DNFs, when I didn't finish one of the races, fell off the bike, I had a fear to continue with bike. If you have any fears, just understand that this is where you need to go. This is what you need to work on. Don't be scared of them. And also work on your weaknesses. I realized before Ironman, just 3 months before Ironman, that cycling is my very weakness. And I worked a lot. I started to focus more on cycling, doing it more than other disciplines. And at the end, wake up the inner champion. So you can do it, yeah? Thank you.